Hello everybody, it's me Jones Jay here. New York City is the largest city in the United States and one of the most iconic cities in the world, thanks to its breathtaking skyline. The city is well known for its skyscrapers including the Empire State Building, Chrysler Building, One World Trade Center, and many more. Many of New York City's iconic skyscrapers were built during the Art Deco boom in the early 20th century, in which many of the world's tallest buildings at the time were built here. New York City also later saw an international architectural style boom in the late 20th century, which included the original World Trade Center. Nowadays in the 21st century, New York City is seeing yet another building boom, with many super tall skyscrapers recently completing, such as One Vanderbilt, 111 West 57th Street, and Central Park Tower. And there are many more upcoming New York City skyscrapers that are under construction, on hold, or proposed. In this video, we'll take a look at some of the upcoming tallest buildings in the city that will redefine the skyline in the future. This is New York City's future skyline. Before we begin, make sure you are subscribed with the notification bell on so you can stay up to date on the latest architectural projects and statistics. We'll be starting our video of New York City in Brooklyn. Now, when you think of New York City skyscrapers, you undoubtedly think of Manhattan, since that is where the vast majority of the bigger and more iconic New York City skyscrapers reside. However, one of New York City's other boroughs, Brooklyn, has started to see a skyscraper boom as well, and it will soon be getting its first super tall skyscraper, a term that refers to skyscrapers taller than 300 meters or 985 feet. The Brooklyn Tower, also known as 9 DeKalb Avenue, is a super tall skyscraper currently under construction that will rise 1,073 feet or 327 meters upon completion. It will feature 93 floors of primarily residential space, and it is shaped like a hexagon with chamfered corners at the north, southwest, and southeast. The building stands on the same site as the Dime Savings Bank building, which was the first bank building in the US to be clad in Pentalic marble. Construction on the Brooklyn Tower began in 2018. It topped out in 2021 and is currently scheduled to be completed later this year in 2022. Sales have begun for the building's condos above the 52nd floor, which includes everything from studios costing $875,000 to 4 bedrooms costing $8 million. So it definitely isn't cheap to live there. Overall, I like the design of the Brooklyn Tower, and I definitely think we'll soon see a lot more skyscraper development outside of Manhattan as space only continues to fill up there. Moving across the East River into Low Manhattan, and we arrive at the site of our next super tall skyscraper. After the tragic events of 9/11, the site of the World Trade Center has since been redeveloped with some new skyscrapers and a memorial. While 1, 3, 4, and 7 World Trade Center have all been completed, 2 World Trade Centers had some trouble finding enough tenants to warrant construction. If the building does begin construction in the future, it's unsure yet what it will look like. Both Bjork and Norman Foster have put forth designs, but it is reported that the final design will depend upon a prospective tenant's needs. If completed, the building will rise 1,345 feet or 410 meters tall and contain 82 floors of primarily office space, which will make it one of the tallest buildings in the city and the second tallest building in Lower Manhattan after One World Trade Center. Regardless of which design they go for, 2 World Trade Center will undoubtedly add to the Lower Manhattan skyline, but until the developers find enough tenants, the building will remain on hold. Moving up to Midtown Manhattan, and we arrive at the site of JP Morgan Chase's global headquarters. 270 Park Avenue was formerly a 52-story skyscraper that rose 707 feet or 215 meters tall and housed JP Morgan Chase's headquarters. In 2018, JP Morgan Chase announced that they would demolish the existing skyscraper at the site and build a new one that would rise almost twice as tall. Demolition of the former structure began in 2019. Using a technique that involved workers slowly dismantling the building from the top down to protect nearby buildings and avoid major smoke that usually results from a demolition. Demolition concluded in 2021, and since then, construction has started on the new tower that will complete in 2024. JP Morgan Chase's new headquarters will rise 1,388 feet or 423 meters tall and contain 70 floors of office space. The building was designed by the architectural firm Foster & Partners, and its design features a series of setbacks to the west and east that taper to a pinnacle at the top. Upon completion, it would become the 6th tallest building in the city. And now we move on to some proposed skyscrapers in New York City. Tower 5th is a super tall skyscraper proposed for Midtown Manhattan by the same developer that completed 432 Park Avenue. Plans for the skyscraper were first revealed in 2019, however no dates have been put forth yet for when construction could begin. If complete, the building will rise 1,556 feet or 474 meters tall and contain 96 floors. It will become the 15th tallest building in the world and the tallest building in New York City by roof height, surpassing Central Park Tower. The surrounding area of Grand Central Terminal recently saw a lot of activity with the recent completion of One Vanderbilt right across the street. Now across the street on the other side of Grand Central Terminal could soon be the site of the second tallest building in New York City. 175 Park Avenue recently gained approval from the New York City Council, and if built, will rise 1,575 feet or 480 meters tall and contain 85 floors of mixed-use space. This will make it the tallest building in the city by roof height, even taller than Tower 5th if that gets built. The building was designed by Skidmore, Owings & Morrow and will house 2.1 million square feet of office space, 500 Hyatt hotel rooms, and an elevated 25,000 square foot publicly accessible space populated with artwork and views overlooking the surrounding streets. The building will replace the former Hyatt Grand Central building, which is expected to be demolished over an 18-month period, and the new skyscraper will likely complete sometime in 2030 or possibly later. And finally, let's take a look at the tallest building currently proposed in New York City, the Affirmation Tower, a mixed-use skyscraper that would rise 1,664 feet or 507 meters tall and contain 95 floors. The building would feature 2 hotels, office space, an ice skating rink, and an observation deck. The design would be unlike any other skyscraper in the world, featuring 5 layers with the bottom layer being the narrowest and each layer above it would increase in size. That's where it gets its name, since the developer claims that Affirmation Tower is aptly named for one who needs some profound faith to walk into those doors with the belief that it will always stand. However, things have been looking doubtful for the skyscraper. The proposal for which the plan was submitted has been revised by the New York governor and now requires affordable housing, which decreases the likelihood of the building's construction since, well, affordable housing wasn't really part of the plan. In the meantime, we'll have to keep an eye out for more news on this skyscraper. If it gets built, then there's no doubt that the tower would have an affirming presence on the New York City skyline, but given the push for more affordable housing and how this tower doesn't really address that, it's not very likely to get built as of now. So there you have it. These are just some of the many notable skyscrapers that are under construction, on hold, or proposed in New York City, set to redefine the skyline in the future if they are all built. Be sure to let me know your thoughts on these skyscrapers down in the comments below. Tell me which one is your favorite. Thanks a lot for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.